I never thought a Craigslist ad could be a death sentence. It started with a subject line that was too perfect. Free 55-inch plasma TV. Pick up tonight, 7 p.m., 23rd Street parking garage. I was in the middle of a rent increase nightmare, and the price was right. I replied, "Sounds good. I'll bring a friend. Is the unit still there?" The seller, who signed his post as Mike, sent a quick reply. "Yes, bring cash for the gas. I'll leave the keys in the lockbox. 7 p.m. on Thursday. Spot 12, level B." No phone number, no picture, just a lockbox number and a deadline. I invited my roommate, Jen, because I'm not stupid. We met at the garage, a concrete cavern that smelled of oil and stale cigarette smoke. The lockbox was a rusted metal box bolted to a pillar, its combination dial frozen at 0000. I fumbled for the code. When I pressed the button, the lock clicked open, and a set of cheap, dull keys tumbled out. A second later, the garage lights flickered, and the low hum of a diesel engine roared from the far end. A black van pulled in, its rear sliding door yawning open. Mike stepped out, taller than his photo, if there was a photo, wearing a baseball cap pulled low over his eyes. He gestured to the TV, which sat upright against a cracked wall. "You'll love it," he said, his voice a rasp that seemed to echo off the concrete. He didn't wear a smile, just a thin line of his mouth. We loaded the TV into the van, and Jen and I rushed back to my car. As we drove away, Mike called out, "I'll see you tomorrow for the sofa. Same spot, same time." I didn't wait for a reply. The next night, the couch was waiting at the same lockbox. This time, a different man answered the door when we arrived. A woman with a scar running down her left cheek, her eyes darting between us and the lockbox. She introduced herself as Veronica, though her voice was muffled by a scarf. "I'm the buyer," she whispered. "But I'm not here for the couch. I'm here for what's inside the box." She pulled a small, battered notebook from the lockbox. I flipped through the pages, lists of address, dates, names, and a single phrase repeated in every entry. "Pick up, no questions." The list grew longer with each page, each name older than the last, each address a different part of the city. "Do you know what this is?" Jen asked, her voice shaking. Veronica's scarred hand trembled as she closed the notebook. "It's not what you think. It's a ledger. People like you, look at the ad, look at the free stuff, are used as bait. The free items are a front. We lure you in, bring you to a place where they're expecting you. It's a trade. They exchange you for something they want. Money, data, a body. You think you're getting a TV, but you're buying a ticket." A sudden crash rattled the van we'd left behind. We turned, heart thudding, to see a black SUV barreling through the cracked garage doors, its headlights cutting the darkness. The driver, someone in a dark hoodie, pulled a gun from under the seat and aimed it at the lockbox. Veronica dropped the notebook and fled, disappearing down the stairwell. I slammed the car into reverse, tires screeching. The SUV chased us through the parking lot, its engine a guttural growl. I could hear Jen's breath ragged, the siren of a distant police cruiser growing louder, then fading. We took a left onto a deserted side street, the van's shadow looming in the rear view. We fled into an alley and hid behind a dumpster. The SUV slowed, the driver stepping out, pistol still in hand, scanning the darkness. He radioed something in a low voice, then turned and disappeared into the night. I slipped a phone from my pocket, dialed 911, but the line crackled with static. My hands trembled. I could see my own reflection in the glass of a storefront. Eyes wide, cheeks hollow, the kind of horror you can't turn off. The next morning, I woke up alone in my apartment. The couch was gone, the TV gone, the lockbox empty. The only thing left on my kitchen counter was a single sticky note. "Thanks for the pickup." No signature. I never posted another ad. I never answered a message after midnight. But sometimes, when I'm alone, I hear the soft click of a lockbox opening, and I can't help but wonder, what And who are they waiting for next? Story 2. I never believed the word danger could be attached to a Craigslist ad, but the moment the first message pinged my phone, a cold finger tightened around my throat. Hey, interested in the 97 Camry? I can swing $800 cash today. Parking lot at 5 p.m., Willow and 12th. I'm a mechanic, so I'll take it as is. Thanks. The sender's name was just Mike, and the profile picture was a grainy selfie taken in a dim garage. I typed back a quick, yes, and sent the address. The parking lot was a cracked concrete slab behind a shuttered grocery store, the kind of place that smelled of diesel and stale peanuts. When the clock hit 5, I arrived with the keys in my pocket and the car's dented door still hanging open like a wound. A rusted sedan idled in the far corner, its driver's side window down just enough to reveal a man in a faded blue shirt, his face partially hidden by the brim of a baseball cap. "Mike?" I called out, my voice sounding too loud. He turned, and his eyes caught the sunlight. They were normal enough, but something about the way his pupils didn't quite match his age made me uneasy. He slid the door open, gesturing me to the passenger side. "Hey, you got the car?" I climbed in, clutching the keys as if they were a lifeline. He laughed, a sound that echoed off the concrete, and said, "Don't worry, I'm not here for a robbery. I just need a good car for my son's birthday. He loves to drive." I pulled the car out of the lot, the engine coughing to life. The ride was uneventful, the suburban streets flashing past like a blur of anonymity. At the agreed-upon handshake, Mike placed a wad of cash on the passenger seat. He counted it, then tucked it into his pocket. His hand lingered a second too long on the steering wheel, a subtle tremor as if the weight of something invisible pressed against it. "Thanks," I said, trying to sound casual. "Good luck with the birthday." He smiled, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. "You'll hear from me soon," he said, as if promising more than a simple sale. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a new message from a number I didn't recognize. Mike was found dead in his car. Police say he was murdered yesterday. He was on a list of missing people. The details are messy. My stomach nodded. A quick search turned up a local news article about a 34-year-old mechanic named Michael Alvarez, missing for 3 days, last seen driving a 97 Camry. The description matched the photo on his Craigslist profile, and the date of his disappearance aligned with our meeting. I stared at the screen, the silence of my apartment suddenly deafening. My eyes darted to the corner where the car keys lay on the table. I could almost hear the faint echo of that parking lot. Metal clanking, tires screeching, a muffled scream swallowed by concrete. A soft knock sounded at my door. I froze, heart hammering against my ribs. I didn't open it. The knock came again, more insistent, as if someone, or something, was begging to be let in. A muffled voice from the hallway whispered, "I'm sorry I didn't get the car back, sir. I thought you'd want it." I swallowed, feeling my throat close. I could hear my own breathing, ragged, over the distant hum of the refrigerator. The knock turned into raps, steady, deliberate, each one reverberating through my bones like a drumbeat of dread. I didn't know what to do. My hand hovered over the keys. The metal was cold, heavy, a reminder that the transaction was not over. The house felt suddenly too small, the walls narrowing as if they were breathing. The knocking stopped. Silence settled, oppressive and final, as I realized the only thing that could have broken it was a door that would never open. I sat in the dark, the phone screen still glowing with the news article, and wondered whether another buyer would ever read that ad, whether another Mike would ever sit in my passenger seat, and what would happen if someone else decided to meet me in that same cracked lot. The sound of a car engine revving far away drifted through the night, and I knew the Camry was still out there, waiting for its next buyer. The question lingered like a breath held too long. Who would be the next one to get in?